Hi parents, it's Mr. Peasley. I wanted to try something new this year and make a few short videos about how you can support your children's learning from home. I thought I'd start off with a simple concept called skip counting. I want to show you how to do it with your children, how to increase their skill, and some real life applications to make it relevant to them in their life. To do that today, I'm going to pull out one of our resources that we talk about a lot at school. It's called a hundreds chart. Very simple. It's the numbers 1 to 100 laid out in an array grid form just like this. The way I present skip counting to my students is I say that counting from 1 to 100 or even further takes a long time. I actually get them to do it in the class, and we realize that it takes a lot of energy and effort to count to 100. And then I present to them that there might be a better option, another way of doing this, and that is by skip counting. Traditionally, the children usually go ahead right to think about skipping by twos. And you'll hear children all the time try to rhyme them off as fast as they can. Sure, I can do that, Mr. Peasley. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. And as they get a little bit higher up in the numbers, you see the confidence start to drift off a little bit. Actually, it's their memory. They haven't been exposed to some of those high numbers as much as they have with the low numbers. Also, sometimes if you get them to start at a different position, start counting by twos, starting with the number 16, it takes a little bit more time for the children to understand what they're doing and process. 16, 18, 20, 22, and so on and so forth. So what I have the children do in class to help them is I pull out the hundreds chart and I ask them to skip count by 2. We'll start with that, and start with a random number on the hundreds chart, not always in our first 10 to 20 numbers of the chart. So I might say, Jonathan, can you please start at 56, skip counting by twos. I start with an even number, and it helps them to be able to do that. And once they're confident, once they're able to do that, then I change it. I ask them to start skip counting backwards. And this is often something that is missed by some of our practice. And you'll see that it takes them a while to understand the idea of removing 2, and they're not familiar with all of those steps. So we practice that in class. How do I bring their level and understanding and their skills to the next level? Well, I ask them then to do it without the chart, and we see how we do. And as we practice like that, we change the number, we change the value to expand their thinking and their memory. So then I'll ask them to start skip counting by 3s. Then a week later, perhaps by 5s or by 10s. And then at the end, to really make it stick, I try to explain to them that this is very useful in their lives. And if they can relate to it, I find they remember it a lot faster. If we need to count all of our students in our class, it is much faster to count by 2s. We see people counting and keeping track with tallies all the times in our life, and that is skip counting by 5. When we get up to multiplication, they're going to start realizing that it's skip counting. Multiplication is groups of numbers that we have designated, and it helps with that concept as well. So if you're at home, if you're wanting to support your children, find an easy hundreds chart online, print it out, or even just have it on the tablet, and practice these skills with them. Counting by 2s, 3s, 5s, and 10s, both forwards and backwards, and then removing the hundreds chart altogether. And eventually, yes, Mom and Dad, we do want to get to it being just memory by rote in your head. I would not start with that as a starting position. A lot of science is showing us that understanding the concept first, mastering it, and then trying to remember it is actually the way to go for student success. I hope this was clear and you understand what I'm saying. Please send me an email if there's anything missing, or if you have any questions about what I'm showing you today. Start with skip counting and give your kids a strong foundation in their math. I'll see you next time.